There was two different resolutions that were put forth. One was Diane Black's, which we took up last night. The other was Vicki Hartzler, who put one in. And the premise is this, is that home rule came in 1973. At that point, gave D.C. the ability to, conduct the affairs of Washington, D.C. In 1989, the Armstrong Amendment was actually passed by Congress. So a federal law was passed by Congress that dealt with this particular issue. I think specifically that particular time it was with Georgetown. And so the premise that is out there right now is that there is indeed a federal law on the books that a D.C. law cannot repeal a federal law that is already existing. Since that Armstrong Amendment was passed in '89 after home rule, and that bill stays there, it would be having a local municipality pass a law that would do away with federal law. It would be like the city of Asheville passing a law to say that we're not going to comply with the Clean Air Act. It doesn't stand up, shouldn't pass political mustard. And so the decision was made that in light of existing federal law and the fact that the city's law cannot repeal a federal law, that Armstrong Amendment would stand. But it's a great question, and it's really what defined the two different resolutions and the reason why we took up one and not the other. Does that make sense? You have a follow-up? Well, I think ultimately, we would be disingenuous to suggest that either of these things are not going to be taken up in court. If you have a federal law and you have a local law, I think there's a lot of jurisprudence out there that would say which one would stand. And so certainly whether it's this or what we took up last night, I'm not very optimistic that the president would take this up and actually sign it. And so it's more the intent of Congress. I think the intent of Congress is very clear with the passing of the Armstrong Amendment in 1989. And certainly that's why we took up the other one. And but that's the difference in the two and why the decision was made.